And welcome back to Wandering Through Wayne's World. You know what my favorite topic is. We talk about it all the time, and that's real estate. And we're getting a little bit different spin than normal realtors that we usually have on. With me is Tony Groza. Is that correct?
Correct.
Down in Micken?
Yes.
And you are with?
Groza Builders.
Groza Builders. And we're up in Port St. Lucie. Is the Treasure Coast your area or just Port St. Lucie?
The entire Treasure Coast.
Okay, so what do you do for them, Tom?
I am Groza Builders Regional Sales Director.
Okay.
Here in Port St. Lucie.
So do you have like an office that has the different style homes that you build?
Right now we have a brand new model, and
Okay.
that's at 1771 Southwest Bayshore Boulevard here in Port St. Lucie. Really proud of it.
Is that the one I went and met you guys at?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
Okay, that was so cool because when I went there, it wasn't even near done. I had to wear my little hard hat. And you got everybody who came to sign one of the studs.
That's exactly it. I thought to myself, how often can we have someone come in and sign a stud?
Right.
So that's exactly what we did.
How
and
cool
everyone
that
came
was.
in. Yeah, it was a great time.
And there was food and drink, so that always makes it better.
That's right.
So, Tony, how long are you doing this?
So the business has been here since 1986.
Wow.
I've been doing it personally since 93. So this is my 25th year.
Okay, so do you build like spec houses?
We do both.
Okay.
Most of our business is a custom built house. So that's kind of what sets us apart is you can literally, like the minimum in Port St. Lucie is 1,200 square feet. So
Okay.
you could literally customize that 1,200 square foot house. So that's kind of what we do. That's our niche. It's not, you're not getting a cookie cutter house, you're getting your home.
Okay, so is the outside like a status quo? You have different outside
You
layout?
can customize whatever you want.
Okay, so that must make it a lot easier for you because then you're not fighting up against every other builder that just gives you that, here's the house.
Well, we aren't production builders. We are a custom builder. So it's important that people understand that we can customize anything. So if someone needs a bigger room, smaller room, less rooms, whatever it might be, we can change elevations as well, which I think is a great thing for people to understand. You can create exactly what your vision is. They're living in the home, we're not. So it's important that they get to put their special spin on it and make it a family home.
Okay, so the home that I saw, that was a spec house,
It was a model.
a model.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so explain to us. So I go in and I see this model home. I have the option to buy it if I want. I'm sure. I think everything's for sale. Yes, no.
Well, I guess you could buy it. if you came with the right deal, I guess you could buy it.
Okay, good.
Sure, we'll lease it back from you. We'll make a deal.
Okay, so when I saw it, there really wasn't much in there, but the layout, I guess, of the rooms and stuff. So I come to you and I say, yes, I like that style home. What's my next step? Do I come to you with an architect? I mean, how do I customize it? How do I know what to do?
More often than not, a family will come in to visit me at the model, and we'll start to really drill down on what their needs are, what they want their home to be like, what kind of a feeling they want. Are they looking for the formality of a formal dining room, or would they prefer a big, great space, a big open space? The number of bedrooms they might need, the bathrooms. There's so many things that we need to talk about that people haven't realized till we start to explore it. Once we do, we've got a bunch of options that we can make available to them, but many times I'll have someone come in and they want something truly custom. We can have them sit down with our architect and create that as well. Whatever it might be, we can create it, and I'm really very proud of that.
Okay, so Tony, okay, so I come and I want to have a house built. Okay, but I want it built in like a certain neighborhood. How do we decipher where the lots are or where I can build?
Well, that completely depends. A lot of the neighborhoods are open, which means any builder can go in it and be approved and build in that neighborhood. Some of them are closed, like in the tradition area. That means there are particular builders, and most of the time that's the person that bought the entire development. So therefore you would have to go to that builder if you want to be in that development.
Okay, and that's kind of interesting. You know, I go through some of the newer developments and every house looks exactly alike. Okay, and I can tell you now that there was one time when I first moved down here, it was night, it was dark, and I went into this development that didn't have lights. And if I tell you, I probably was there about an hour and 45 minutes before I found the house. And the only reason I found the house was because there was a cop there and I had to ask him directions. And that was kind of tedious and very frustrating for me. One is, we were discussing how time is so important. And of course I was late for this appointment, even though I called and left him a message. But, so, are there lots all over?
There are. I mean, on the Treasure Coast, there's so many options as where to build your house. And really, you just want to look at what it is that you want for your community.
Okay, so what's your area that you're building? Martin County?
Palm Bay to Palm Beach.
Palm Bay.
So north to Palm Bay?
Where's Palm Bay?
Just north, it's the next town up over Sebastian.
Okay.
So, and then all the way to Jupiter.
I love Sebastian. Sebastian is a great little town. I spent a couple weekends there, and we did, ironically enough, the weekends we spent there, we spent during Sebastian, Light Up Sebastian, which was really nice, and then we did the triathlon, we filmed that for them. So we really had a good time when we were up there, and it is a really, really nice little town. So if you're looking to build something or move to a neighborhood, that's a great neighborhood to move to. For me, Port St. Lucie was kind of interesting to get used to. I'm here 2 years, and because I come from Boca Del Rey area, it's like everything is going 24/7.
Right.
This is much more family-oriented.
Correct.
Okay, and much more peaceful. When I wanted to come this way, everybody said Martin County is better than St. Lucie County. I mean, why do they say that?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask them. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the city of Port St. Lucie has done a fabulous job with their infrastructure and the preparation moving forward. They've had a little bit of hiccups maybe with the crosstown and that kind of thing. But as a whole, they're doing a fabulous job keeping up with the growth. And I think that's why so many people want to live here.
Donna, a question.
Tell me.
When someone comes to you, okay, and they're talking about building a home and they have 2 kids, let's say, is like their first question about schools, or have they already looked that up?
More often than not, when someone comes to me, they have a piece of land.
Oh, okay.
Or they're considering land. A lot has to do with their budget as well. So I'll have them either work with a realtor that's in the local community. I also have a Groza Real Estate. We can offer someone there that can help them find a piece of land. And what I'll say to them is really search and see what kind of community you want to live in. I really leave it up to them to find that. Once they come to that place, then we just try and figure out what kind of a house, what kind of a budget they want to be in. More often than not, I'll have young families come to me and they're in a certain budget, and we can always keep them within the budget that they'd like to be in.
Okay, so putting you on the spot.
Tell me.
Who makes the decision, the husband or the wife?
You know, it usually...
and location.
You know, in life, it's often said, happy wife, happy life.
Right.
I find that I hear that from myself, saying it to the customers that come to me.
Okay.
And it works out pretty well. Usually, we will drill down on what's important to each person and try and give that to them. So sometimes the gentleman might say, you know, I need to have a 3rd-car garage. Can you do that? And when I tell them that we can do it without a problem, immediately he relaxes and he looks at the wife and he's like, have at it. You can decide everything else.
How stereotypical.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Honey, you can have the garage and the rest of the house I'm going to do.
And it happens more than you know.
And I can understand it because for me, it's like, all right, well, do what you want in the house. You decorate it, you know. Space to me is, I look at houses as a place to go and sleep. I'm in entertainment, so I'm always going, I'm always on the road,
Sure.
I'm always doing stuff. So I just want to come home to something that's comfortable. I don't want to have to make those decisions. Well, we're guys, so we're really kind of simple like that.
Exactly.
Okay? Okay, so I come to you, and we decide that I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Do you do 1-story, 2-story? I mean,
Sure.
So either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes to all of the above.
Can you do anything?
We can.
A basement?
Yep, I'm a certified general contractor.
Can you do a basement?
Not in Florida. That would be a little bit tough. But I do want to say this. One thing that that we have specialized in for several years is shared living. So many years ago on our model on Bayshore, at the time, we put a guest house in the back and connected that guest house. And that was more of a mother-in-law suite is what we called it. So we have a whole plan selection of different ways in different houses with shared living. So we have one bigger house that the shared living quarters is inside the house. We have another house that it sits on the back. We have another one that sits up on top of the garage. So we really have an array of different plans and ideas to help the customer get what they want.
You know, I have a good friend he moved into a rental and he loves, and he's thinking about buying it, and we don't know if they want to sell it. But for the last, I'm going to say, as long as I can remember, 15 years, 20 years, his father-in-law lived with them, and then his mom moved in with them. So we had both of them, and I remember, some of the things that he would say. Oh my God, my father-in-law comes down, he makes me crazy. He's in there, I'm watching TV, and he's moving change around and making noise. Some people can't take a lot of that. So that's, I guess, ideal for someone like that.
It is.
And he bought 3 acres out in Okeechobee, and he bought a little mobile home, and he thought about building a house out there,
Right.
and then putting the mobile home out there for them with a breezeway.
Right.
A lot of people asking because of the, is it because of the economy that they're looking for shared living?
Could be any number of reasons. It really could. I think you can come up with so many reasons why people decide to do it. More often than not, I do have families that come to me that do have an elderly parent that they'd like to give them that private space. And it really doesn't interrupt with their living, so to speak. So that private space seems to be something that we've been talking about a lot. So that's why we made sure that we made that available to our customers.
Okay, because we're getting to the top of the time. Last question. I come to you, what should I have with me? Besides the fact that I know I want to buy a home, what should I have that you would need when I make this determination? Do I need, because we're talking real estate, one always hears about a pre-approval. What do I need?
More often than not, I've had people come at different stages. So if you come to me and you've already spoken to a lender, that's a great situation. But if you haven't spoken to a lender, I can put you in touch with a lender as well. A lot of times people come in and they just don't understand the process.
Right.
And I need to just go through the process. So I'll get people that come in at different stages of where they're at. Okay. So I have no problem communicating with them in any way. We can help them really create the dream that they want, in the budget that they want, in the time frame that they want. Not everybody wants to buy a house and have it built and have it done this year. It may be 2 years out, and that's fine. And we build our relationships like that. And then I'll have people that walk in the door and say, gee, I really want a new house, but I'd like it as soon as possible. And that's when we have our spec houses available. So we try to make everything available to all of our customers when they come in the door. So you don't need to have anything but a desire to really want to talk about what new construction can hold for you. Because sometimes it's just finding out some information and asking the questions and coming to the professionals. And that's us.
Okay. Tony, so I come, I'm building a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Donna sold me on that. From the time that I signed the deal, how long does the house usually take to build?
Well, it really depends on the financing. Again, like she said, if it's cash, we're going to put it right into production and we're going to get started. Production time, depending on the house, is going to be anywhere from 5 to 7 months after we get the permit, depending on where we are and what location and what municipality it is, depends on how long it takes to get the permit. But we would sit down and we have several meetings with you, and that's part of building your home is, we're going to sit down and do a structural meeting and make sure all the structure is correct in the way you want it. And then you're going to sit down with the loved color meeting where you get to pick out all the different design and the finishes that get put in the house. So that all happens kind of all at the same time in a sequence, but all kind of as the ball's rolling.
Very interesting. Okay, if you had to give someone one tip about buying and building a new house, what would it be?
To find the right company. And I will tell you, more often than not, I'm very proud of being part of the Groza organization. It's a family-run business. It's not corporately owned. They have been part of this community for over 30 years, and I'm really very proud of it. I will say it's something that I say to everyone that comes in the door. After a storm, which is something you need to consider here in Florida, Tony Groza goes out with his truck, and he goes and checks on some of our properties, and we all get the collective text from him with the thumbs up, and he's very proud of that because of the integrity and the way that the home is built. So I think primarily, if you're considering a new build, do your due diligence. Make sure that you decide on a company that has been around, that has a track record like us.
Tony, what do you see the future of new construction? Are we on the upswing? Are we leveled? Are we?
We are definitely on the upswing. We have been for several months, and I think it'll last. Everyone I've talked to, either whether they're from the financial world or from the building world, everybody has pretty much said that it's going to be from like 4 to 8 years of a continual upswing. So if you have any interest in buying a new home or building a new home, you probably should do it because the interest rates are going to be going up and the costs are going up.
Donna, if people want to find you, how do they get in touch with you?
Oh, easy enough. You can find me on the website.
Okay,
you
which
can send
is?
me a smoke signal. I'll answer anything. No.
What's the website?
So the www.grozahomes.com.
Groza
HOMES.com.
Okay.
Yes. Is probably the easiest way. Calling our number here at the corporate office, 772-336-7653. Bree will answer the phone. She will direct you to whatever department you need to speak to.
You know, guys, I say this a million times. People get nervous about buying a house or a home, and you know, some people say, you know, I paid $200,000 and the crash came and my house is only worth $160,000, and you're sitting there crying about something that's really foolish, because that home will be at $200,000 again, okay? And you're living in it, so you should be happy where you are. Understand that real estate is very cyclical, and you didn't lose any money because you're not selling the home. So don't worry about it. Be happy. And that's why companies like this build a house to your specs, so you're not just buying something off the lot, for lack of a better word. With that, I want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.